Charlene Stewart. This is Jamaica Now, the first of our weekly reviews of the big stories. Coming up, dengue cases reach alarming levels. The health minister appeals for calm. Seaga urges the government to peg the dollar, and 3 Jamaicans nominated for IAAF World Athlete of the Year. But first, the Health Ministry has confirmed that there is now an outbreak of dengue cases. According to the Health Minister, Dr. Fenton Ferguson, up to September 29, there were 1,215 cases. But the Health Minister is appealing to Jamaicans not to panic.
We expect that in the coming weeks, there may be even more adult mosquitoes given the recent rains. There have been 5 suspected deaths, with 1 confirmed via autopsy. All parishes have been affected to date, with Kingston and St. Andrew showing the highest incidence of disease, or 50% of those cases.
Turning now to news of the economy, former Prime Minister Edward Seaga has again suggested that the Jamaican dollar be pegged to the U.S. currency. He's essentially proposing that the value of the U.S. dollar be set at a prescribed ratio to the local dollar. Mr. Seaga believes this will boost local economic growth. But at least 2 financial experts don't believe this approach will work. Former Central Bank Governor Derek Latibediere feels that Mr. Seaga's suggestion will reap little or no dividend. He said, and these are his own words, "If the fundamentals are right, you don't have to think about which system you're going to use. The exchange rate would remain relatively stable if the fundamentals are right." And financial analyst Ralston Hyman says pegging the dollar will create problems.
Now, it raises a question as to who determines what the value of your currency in relation to the US should be. Nobody can sit in the Bank of Jamaica and determine that the value of Jamaica's currency to the US should be 5 to 1. Nobody can speak for the market. No one individual can determine that. So there's a certain level of arbitrariness in that regard.
Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez has won a 3rd straight term in office, and Jamaica's Energy Minister Philip Powell is happy. Mr. Powell says he's preparing to send a team to Venezuela to try and preserve the Petrocaribe agreement. Now, had President Chavez lost the election, his contender would have halted the Petrocaribe agreement, which now benefits several Caribbean countries, including Jamaica. That would have meant that Jamaica and its regional counterparts would no longer be able to purchase oil with only 60% of the money required upfront, depending on the price for a barrel of oil. As it stands, the remaining 40% is paid over time under a special financing agreement. Jamaica signed the Petrocaribe agreement in 2005. Mr. Powell says the continuation of the agreement is critical to Jamaica's energy sector.
If we didn't have the Petrocaribe facility, we'd have a serious problem with having to find an additional 40% to pay for our purchase of oil. And that will have a very negative impact on our foreign exchange. We do have a lot of resources being spent on the Petrocaribe Fund for a variety of projects. Now, in the event that the facility has to end, then some negotiations will have to take place.
To the reason Sandy Park residents in St. Andrew protested on Tuesday, October 8th. The residents took to the streets to demand urgent repairs to a section of the Sandy Gully that has been breaking away for some time now, further threatening their houses. A day later, Richard Azan, the junior minister in the Transport and Works Ministry, met on site with senior officials of the National Works Agency. They've decided to expedite the work in Sandy Gully. Let's turn our attention to sports, where 3 Jamaican athletes have been nominated for the IAAF World Athlete of the Year award. Shelly Ann Fraser Price is up for the Female Athlete of the Year, while Usain Bolt and Johan Blake have been nominated for Male Athlete of the Year. Bolt has won the award on 3 occasions. That's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the news. We're always happy to hear from you, so please continue to share your thoughts with us at onlinefeedback@gleanajm.com. Tune in to Power 106 for regular updates, and do follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner. I'm Charlene Stewart, inviting you to join us again for another edition of Jamaica Now. As we go, let's leave you with some images from the launch of Restaurant Week 2012. The event officially begins on Thursday, November 9, and will be held under the theme One Love, Eat Up, Live Up. Enjoy.